Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I'm continuing with Final Fantasy I Dawn of Souls, the PSP version. And so in this episode, we are going to take on the final elemental Fiend. But before we do that, I'm going to do a little bit of searching on this floor because there's actually a random encounter that you can get into. And it is very rare that you'll get that random encounter, only about 5%. So I'm going to search for that particular enemy. Alright, so it's taken roughly 10 minutes to find this enemy, and this is the Warmech, or Death Machine, or it's named a couple different things in various versions of the game. And basically this is the Omega weapon, or Ultima weapon, or, you know, the ultimate enemy that you don't have to take on in order to beat the game. And as I said, it's a very rare encounter in this area. Only about 3 in 64, or roughly 5% of the time. And it's actually pretty tough. It's tougher than Tiamat, who we're going to face after we take this guy out. And the main reason it's difficult is because it has a nuke ability that can hit your entire party for massive damage. And if you're not ready for it, it can take out your entire group. So, you know, that's kind of mean of the developers, kind of, if you're heading up towards Tiamat, you're not really expecting this enemy, and then all of a sudden it takes out your entire party. And unlike other versions of the game, you cannot save in dungeons. And so this is the only version that lets you save at basically any time. And in other versions, like the NES version, he does also recover 100 hit points per turn, but that doesn't actually show up on the screen. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. But he's not super tough. The main difficulty is that nuke ability that he uses. But I've been fortunate enough that he hasn't so far. So I'm going to keep casting Halaga, or however you pronounce it, every turn, just in case he does cast it. And we'll continue to buff our characters here and hopefully beat him down. He doesn't have a ton of HP. Only a couple thousand. So once I do get all my characters buffed here, he should go down fairly fast. Looks kind of cool though. You gotta wonder who made him. I guess since we're in the floating continent, it must be the Lufanians, or again, however you pronounce it. Bam. Alright, lots of experience, lots of Jill. And of course we're going to gain a level. Actually gained quite a few levels while searching for him. Like I said, it took about 10 minutes. So I'm up to 43 now. Alright, so let's go and take on Tiamat. Yes, we've beaten them all. I don't think you stand much of a challenge or chance, actually. Even though you are a 6-headed dragon. However, that relates to a element of wind. I don't think Tiamat even has wings. Interesting. Now, some of the kind of lore of this game, some of the citizens, when you talk to them, the NPCs, they describe Tiamat as a female. Some of them describe Tiamat as a male. I would assume it's based on some sort of mythology. I don't know that mythology, so I'm not sure which it is, but you know, to us, it's just another enemy to overtake and overcome. So we will defeat Tiamat as quickly as possible. There is nothing to worry about here. Tiamat, again, like the other fiends, is mostly dangerous for physical attacks. So as long as you put up Protera, and also if you are thinking about it, you can put up Blink on all of your party members. And then just buff your main attackers and continue to hit away. And eventually, you will chip down Tiamat's couple thousand HP. What should we do? Well, let's cast Blink on everybody. And an interesting fact is that Tiamat is actually weak to death attacks. So if you do cast death magic on her, or him, there is a chance it'll actually hit them. Tiamat does not have natural defense against it. Now, of course, the hit rate is pretty low, so the chances of it hitting are minuscule. But if it does actually connect, there's a chance it'll actually kill Tiamat. So I'll try it, but I'm not super optimistic it'll actually hit. But this is going fairly well. Let's see if we can finish off Tiamat this turn. Bam! And that is the final elemental fiend. So let's light that final crystal. And we should be done, right? That was the task we were given, to restore the light to the crystals. And of course, this will open up the final of the extra dungeons. So we'll be taking that one on eventually. But not yet. Next, we're gonna get out of here. As you can see, all the crystals are lit there. And we're gonna do a little side quest. So we got our adamantite while we were climbing the Mirage Tower. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head back to the Dwarven Cave and we're gonna cash that in so that we can get a souped up sword. And then once I've done that, I'm gonna do some traveling around the world to grab some items because we are ready for the final encounter, which is to go back to the Chaos Shrine. Let's see if we can get through the desert back to our airship without encounters. Come on, let's get there. Yes. Okay. So let's head back and see if we can find the blacksmith. We are almost done with this game, or at least the main game. The main game is only about 8 to 10 hours roughly, depending on, again, how quickly you do it. And then the extra content, all the extra dungeons that they added for the Dawn of Souls version, that adds another 8 to 10 hours to the game. Again, depending on how quickly you do it. It is. So he's gonna make us our new sword. I'm sure you know what it is. Ooh, that looks nice. And that is the Excalibur. So let's grab that wonderful sword and add it to our inventory. Of course, that will be going on our main knight there. Good old Jester. So I'm going to shift my equipment around. And then what I'm going to do is, again, off screen, I'm going to grab some items from various shops around the world. And I'm going to meet you guys at the Chaos Shrine. And we're going to start encountering the final area of the game. So we are in the home stretch. Yeah, let's throw the Sunblade on my namesake. Alright, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Into the Chaos Shrine we go. Now, interestingly enough, this character here that we just encountered is not in any of the other versions of the game. They are only in the PSP version. And they are opening up a very special gauntlet type dungeon that again is only available in the PSP version. So that is something else that I'm gonna have to consider later on if I want to actually take that on or not. And notice there are 5 bats here. If you'll remember back to when we went to Lufania or Lufina or whatever, they mentioned that they had sent 5 warriors after Tiamat, or the ultimate evil that exists in this game. Well, all of those warriors have been turned into bats. So we can actually talk to them, and since we defeated the fiends, now they can actually tell us a little bit about it and reveal the very interesting plot twist here. That there's a time portal that will send us back 2,000 years into the past. Very, very weird. So this game kind of has one of those time paradoxes. So we need to get all of that light from the various crystals that we restored. That'll activate this black crystal, and that's going to send us backward. Take one step forward to go backward. All right, so here we go. So we are still in the Chaos Shrine, but you'll notice it's in quite a bit better shape. Now then, we have to traverse this particular shrine to find the final encounter in the game, the final boss. And we are going to have to take on all of the elemental fiends again. Because, of course, it's not going to be easy enough to just take on the final boss. Now, there's a lot of dead ends in this area, so you want to take a very particular path to keep yourself from getting worn down too much. Not a lot of items. There are a couple, and I'll show you the location of those. Here we get a Dryether, and also an elixir. Let's activate this tablet, and that's going to bring into play the loot that we got way back at the beginning of the game from Princess Sarah. So now we can continue. Pretty awesome music. So we're gonna have random encounters, of course. Most of the enemies are mini bosses that we fought before. So a lot of dragons, black knights, things like that. And a lot of the traversing you have to do is along the outer areas of these different floors. But really, it doesn't take super long to get through this dungeon. The thing that does take the most time is the random encounters, because the enemies are tough, so it's gonna take, 30 seconds, a minute, sometimes a couple minutes to beat each of the enemies. But now we are just about to the first of our elemental fiends for our rematches, and we will start doing that in my next episode. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you stick around so that we can take on and finish off the final boss of this game and complete the first Final Fantasy in the series. I'll see y'all in my next episode. So long.